Hello, and welcome to a demonstration of publishing Microsoft Project to OnePlan for a simplified project portfolio management solution. So to start off the demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and create a new project plan. And I'm going to pick a plan type. So I'll just pick the Enterprise Project plan type. I will name my project. Go ahead and click on Add. Now the first step here is to complete the metadata around this particular project. And these fields are all configurable. I'm going to say the portfolio is cloud and mobile first. Program is world-class customer support. Plan type is going to be cloud computing. And the goal of this is to grow the business. And so for this demonstration, I'm going to show you the schedule here where I can use Microsoft Project to build out my initial plan. So here I am in my work plan, and I'm going to go ahead and open Microsoft Project. Now, this initial project is connected to OnePlan, and I can simply build out my tasks, my WBS structure, and my schedule here. But for this demonstration, I'm going to just use an out-of-the-box template. So I'll go ahead and click on the software development one. And I'll say this actually is happening in the past. So let's go ahead and say create. And so now I have my Microsoft Project template built out here. We can see we have some local resources assigned to this particular plan. But since I'm using a template, I need to reconnect to OnePlan. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Connect. Authenticate in. I'm going to select my group. And now I'm going to publish. Now the first steps of publishing is mapping resources with your Active Directory, resources with your Microsoft Project plan. You can also create generic resources in OnePlan. So you can see here we already have a couple of generics mapped, project manager to a project manager. But for the rest of this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and map a few other resources. For example, Daniel Williams will be the management resource. Amy is going to be the analyst. Adam will be deployment team. And last, Lori will become the trainer. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save, which allows me to save the file to my local drive or to a shared drive. And so the next step here allows you to either create a new plan if you have not created one in OnePlan, or you can connect to an existing one. But since we've already created this plan in OnePlan, we're just going to connect to an existing one. So I'll go ahead and click OK, find that plan, and connect to it. So now we are importing the Microsoft Project schedule into OnePlan. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to OnePlan, and I'm going to refresh. And now you'll be able to see your project schedule that you published for Microsoft Project in OnePlan. So I can go ahead and open these up. I can see some different information here. I can add a Gantt view to this if I wanted to look at the Gantt view. I can change some of the views here. So if I wanted to look at effort or versus cost, I can look at cost here. I also can look at resource allocation. So if I go to my scheduler view, I'm looking at the resource assignments. So I can see the resources that are assigned to this particular project and see what their allocation might look like over months or versus weeks. But I might want to look at this against all other projects that have been published into OnePlan. So I can click on Show All Work. And so now you'll see by bringing in all the other assignments for these resources against the resources in this particular project, I can see that quite a few of these resources are way over allocated. And so I may need to make some adjustment to who's assigned to which projects. I also can use a board here online with my team. So if I wanted to start managing some of the status here and updating that here, I can as well. I also have a different type of hybrid board built into OnePlan with Microsoft Project. It's the ability to take one of your scheduled tasks and build out a activities board for that particular task. So for example, if I wanted to secure resources, I needed to identify team, get interview team, get contracts signed. So whatever it might be I need to do, you might come in here and fill that out, and as you start to move through the process here, you can then move your activities underneath this particular task to completion. You also can make comments and socialize on tasks from Microsoft Project. So if I wanted to secure project sponsorship, I can click on this here and say, who is the, excuse me, and so I can quickly send an email to whoever's assigned or whoever's the owner of this project a comment, and I can track those comments here as well within the plan. The other nice thing about publishing your project schedule to OnePlan is if you're managing capacity, you can use your plans to actually complete your capacity planning information. So for example, I've moved over to my resource plans and I could add individual resources here, or I could just click import from my schedule. And so now you'll see that I've populated my resource plan. I may also want to fill out my financial plan here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on financials. And again, I could manually fill this out, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and import my financials here. And so now you'll see I have all my role-based financials filled out. So now the next step might be to enter in some other information. For example, I have some travel that's coming up as well. And so I can enter in, maybe we're going to buy some software in the middle of this project as well. So the next step here is I can go back, look at my portfolio, and I can see my project that's been published here. I may want to group this so I can see them in different areas. So maybe I want to look at, let's say, portfolio, for example. And now I'm looking at my Cloud Mobile first, and there's my project here. I can also look at different views here in OnePlan. So maybe I want to look at my financial information. The other thing we might want to do is do my work. So maybe we want team members to come in and update work that they've been assigned to. So for example, here you'll see Daniel Williams has been assigned to these projects. I'm going to go ahead and say for this particular task, if this one is complete. I'm also going to, like this one, I'm going to say this particular task is going to be delayed by a week and a half. But I have started on it, so I'm going to go ahead and say I'm 50% complete, but I moved it out a week and a half here. And so as a project manager, you get notified that there's been updates. So as I go back into my project plan, I click on updates. You'll see I have two changes here. One is at 100% complete, the other one's at 50% complete. If I wanted to get more details of what was changed, if I just click on the task itself, it'll show you the fields that were changed from the team member. So you'll see here's this date's been changed from June 5th to June 14th, and it went from 0 to 50%. So now that I've reviewed them, I can go ahead and accept them, and they'll bring those updates right into Project Desktop. And so now I can publish this back out based on the updates. And now the task schedule is updated in Microsoft Project and OnePlan. So that's a quick overview of how you can use Microsoft Project in conjunction with OnePlan to create a simplified project portfolio management solution.